This is a screen for you to see energy projection. Now when I move my hands, energy reflected on the screen will be traveling together. Now this energy everybody has in the body, depending upon how much magnitude of the energy you have, will be shown, and also your personality, character, whatever, the different motion. And depending upon your energy level, every day at the different time of the day, your energy might be reflected accordingly.
Now we're just sitting together, and just a little kiss, just an ordinary little kiss. And if you look in the background, you see how the red picks up? That's because both of our energies moved more into that level of consciousness. You see how we look at each other? You see how it changes? You can see the dynamics of the interaction. You see the bright spot right between the two of our heads?
The bright spot, right.
Yeah, and you see how when we move our heads apart, how the bright spot just goes away. Now that we actually have the ability to see the person's energy field as they're emitting it, we hope to use it as a therapeutic tool for personal transformation. We have 3 methods of photographing the energy around your body or displaying it. One method is the more modern method, which uses amplification. We have the original Kirlian process, and we also have the heat process. The reason we have the heat process is so that you can readily see that the other 2 processes are electromagnetic in nature. This is what the heat process looks like. You can try this if you want. Just place your hand down here for a second or 2, and you can match it up to one of these and see how good your circulation is, or basically how warm your hands are. Now, if you'd really like to know something about yourself, you might be more interested in the Kirlian method. In the Kirlian method, we place your hand over a conductive plate. The electricity actually goes through the film and exposes. And what we do is we photograph the energy field around a single finger twice. We do it once in the normal state, and then again when we ask the person to concentrate. Psychic healers, artists, musicians, people that actually have the ability to let the energy flow through their body get a tremendous rise in image brightness and have a photographic record of it. Bookkeepers, engineers, accountants, people that tend to have a good cerebral grasp of the world tend to stay very similar whether they're in the normal state or whether they're in their concentrated state. People with a lot of emotional turbulence, the student just before finals, you can see how the inside of the aura has this turbulence in it. That represents emotional. The outer represents the physical. Angry people, and we found that people that are close emotionally, couples, people that have a lot in common, will very often look similar. In this case, they looked identical in their concentrated state. It's only slightly different in their normal state. And people who stare out windows, people who do a lot of astral traveling, people who do deep transcendental meditation, sometimes don't expose at all, because although they're here physically, psychically or emotionally or whatever the camera actually exposes, they're gone. And this person here was able to return just a little bit with concentration. This is more of an average person. As you can see, the inside represents the emotional body, the outside represents the physical body.
We have here a high-frequency, high-voltage generator, a pair of high-voltage leads, one going to ground, and then a regular light bulb with trace elements of gas in it. When we turn the whole thing on, we get little sparks which give us an aura around our finger. It's called a Kirlian aura. Both Richard and Shannon are going to put their fingers on the specially prepared sensitive plate. First, we turn off the lights, then we turn on our high voltage. Focus in, and you can see the Kirlian aura, Shannon on the left and Richard on the right. Now couple. Let's kiss. And you can see the bonds being formed between them. You're even getting some static on the camera. See that right down in the middle there? Okay, now stop kissing. All right, see how everything kind of got a little dull? All right, we'll turn it on now and turn the lights back on.
We also have a more modern method based on amplification. This red is passionate, intellect, teaching, clear communication, and very, very high spiritual leanings. If you look over here, you'll see how the color's a little different on the side, sort of greenish was coming in. This person went through a change a few hours after the photo was taken.
Orange is a color that's a blend between creative energy and intellect. People who have orange in their fields have learned to balance that heart energy, all those feelings and emotions, with a little bit more level-headedness. They need the best of both worlds. When there's an imbalance there, they tend to do too many things for other people, give too much of their time away, and leave very little things left for themselves, including draining off their own energies. They usually have a dual career, a job, one that will be an anchor, and something they may do on the side that'll be what they really want to do in life, but feel insecure that maybe it's too creative a field, too risky to make a living, so they'll do more than one thing.
One thing about the color purple, I'm able to know things before they happen. I actually see them sometimes. And the universe seems to provide for me just about anything I need.
Yellow, I like to have fun.
Red, I like sports, I like to win, I like the activity, and women are the best sport because they're best to win.
Green, I'm a very consistent person. I have a lot of endurance, and I stick to things. Some people think I am a healer.
One of the most asked questions is how the camera works. The camera actually picks up the electrical field around your body and it displays it as light in images. If you decide to have your photograph done, you'll be asked to place your hand on something. The thing you place your hand on actually charges your body with radio frequency, like you might have if you passed near a radio station or a TV station. This energy is transferred to you. It's balanced by some probes that are on the chair. And it's actually picked up by these probes that are behind the curtain. There's several electric receivers back here which feed this energy into a little computer. I'll try a little drawing. So you would imagine that you have the chair here. You have a person sitting on this chair. We'll just draw this person here. And this person will actually put their hand on the probe which will charge their body. Okay, as they do this, the frequency builds up on their body and it starts to form waves like that. There's one wave. There's two waves. The probe's up on top. Pick these waves up. And they bring this down through several wires. This is converted into electrical energy and placed into the unit, which converts it into lights and colors, which you see in the photographs. And we work with the energy. Violet, mystical, magical, unifying, gives way to green, and yellow comes up with heartfelt thoughts of warmth and love. And back to violet again. Violet gives way to blue with beautiful thoughts and smiling. Blue, depth of feeling, and she brings orange with creative thoughts. using modern, high-speed image processing, we're able to see our field as it happens.
Hi there. Infrared. Primordial active, very live, stimulating energy. Hi there. Infrared. Primordial active, very live, stimulating energy.
Okay. And you can actually see the field around her as it's being generated. These probes she's placing her hand on actually emit radio frequency. The radio frequency goes through her body. Her whole body becomes the antenna. The transmitting antenna is picked up by the receiving probes. There are hundreds of these little probes centered all around her. Each one of these probes has its own receiving antenna. These little antennas are all connected together through a high-speed multiplexer. This information is delivered to the computer where it's processed and displayed as light and sound. Now, you can actually see on the oscilloscope behind here that as you get a probe closer, the energy increases. As you pull it further back, the energy decreases. And this is how you display the energy.
Green. Healing, teaching, endurance, tenacity, high self-esteem.
As you can see, as I change my thoughts, the colors can actually change in response to them. Also, if you move from one side, you can see how it'll respond to that. The image starts to develop. The computer can already talk to you, and soon it will be able to listen. We believe that we can actually have an interaction with the computer by incorporating, say, the Lucier color test and a battery of psychological profile test, where you can actually answer verbally to the computer-induced questions that the computer, with the aid of the biofeedback information it has, the computer can reveal that point in life where we made those unconscious decisions which affect our conscious decisions.
The color orange is a very creative color.
You can actually see the colors change with slight physical exertion or a mental change of state. Also, notice the field following my arm and reflecting the movement of my hand.